The galaxy had always laughed at humans. Every alien empire, big or small, believed humans were the weakest species in known space. They were called soft, small, fragile, too emotional, and too slow to adapt. For centuries, the alien races had fought great wars, built giant fleets, and tested deadly weapons. Humans, meanwhile, stayed in their small corner of the galaxy, focused on exploration and survival. Because of this, the alien empires never feared Earth. They believed humans would never be a threat. On the far edge of the galaxy, in a cold empty region of space, an alien outpost floated above a dying red star. This outpost belonged to the Vora Empire, one of the most feared and powerful forces in the galaxy. Their soldiers were tall, armored, and trained for war since childhood. Their ships were fast and deadly. Their commanders were proud and ruthless. And on this outpost, they were testing their newest weapon, a device that could erase an entire fleet with a single blast. Inside the weapon chamber, lights flashed and machines hummed. Alien scientists gathered around the glowing core, their eyes filled with pride. Commander Jur, a legend among the Vora, watched the test with a confident smile. He believed no one could challenge them now. Their empire was unstoppable. He said loudly, "With this weapon, no army can stand against us. Not even 1,000 ships. We are invincible." The other officers cheered. They believed his words. After all, no one had ever stopped the Vora Empire before. They controlled dozens of star systems, and no enemy had survived their attacks. The galaxy feared them, and they loved that fear. But outside the station, something moved through the darkness. It was quiet. Large. Without a known signature. At first, the scanners showed nothing except a strange distortion far away. The alien technician frowned and tapped the screen. Something about the signal felt wrong. It was too steady, too strong, too deliberate to be a natural object. He called the officer beside him. "Sir, I am detecting something strange approaching the outpost." The officer barely looked at the screen. "Probably asteroid debris. Ignore it." But the signal grew stronger. The technician adjusted his instruments. "Sir, it is not debris. It is moving at controlled speed." Now the officer frowned and stepped closer. The signal grew larger on the screen. A long, dark shape slowly took form. The officer felt a small chill on his skin, something he had not felt in many years, uneasiness. He opened a channel to Commander Jur. "Commander, an unknown object is approaching fast. It is, extremely large." Commander Jur groaned, annoyed. "Probably a wandering cargo ship. Identify it and make them change course." "We tried, Commander," the officer said. "But it is not responding to our calls." That got Jur's attention. He marched to the control deck, his heavy boots echoing through the metal floors. When he reached the main screen, he expected to see a simple civilian ship. But what he saw instead made him stop in place. A massive vessel drifted toward them. Its design was unlike anything the Vora had ever seen. Sharp edges, thick armor, glowing blue engines, and a strange symbol painted on the hull. A human symbol. Jur stared in confusion. What is a human ship doing here? Humans do not build ships of this size. Their technology is basic compared to ours. Yet the ship continued forward, silent and calm, like a predator approaching its prey. The officers on the bridge whispered nervously. "Why would humans send such a big ship alone?" one muttered. "Do they even have that kind of power?" another asked. No one had answers. The human battleship came closer, and their sensors finally read its size. It was larger than the Vora command cruisers. Its energy output was unusually high, almost unnatural. Its hull seemed to absorb the light around it. Jur clenched his fists. "Send a warning. Tell them to stop at once or we will fire." The message was transmitted. But the ship did not slow down. It did not change direction. It did not respond. It simply continued its silent approach. The crew felt something they had never felt before, fear. "Commander, should we prepare the weapon?" an officer asked softly. Jur hesitated. Their weapon was still in testing. It was powerful, yes, but they had never fired it at a real target. Still, he did not want to appear weak in front of his crew. "Charge the weapon," he ordered. "If this ship refuses to stop, we will destroy it." Power surged through the outpost. The weapon core glowed brighter. Heat filled the chamber as the energy built up. The alien scientists watched the readings carefully. Outside, the human battleship continued its slow, steady approach. Jur felt irritated. Do they think they can intimidate us? Humans have never stood against us in war. They should fear us. But deep inside, a small doubt began to grow. Why would humans send a ship this large? Why would it enter Vora Empire space alone? Why was it silent? The weapon reached full power. "Fire," Jur commanded. A bright beam shot through space and hit the human ship directly. The explosion was massive. The shockwave shook the outpost. Sparks flew. Officers grabbed onto consoles to avoid falling. When the light faded, everyone stared at the screen. The human battleship was still there. Untouched. Not even a scratch. The room went silent. No one spoke. No one breathed. Then the ship finally responded, with a calm and steady voice that echoed through every speaker. "Vora Empire. Stand down." The message was simple. But it carried a warning that made every alien heart freeze. The message echoed through the Vora outpost again, calm yet powerful, as if the voice already knew the Empire would not obey. "Vora Empire. Stand down." Commander Jur felt anger rising in his chest. No one, especially not humans, had ever spoken to him like that. He slammed his fist on the control table. "Who do they think they are?" he growled. "One ship cannot threaten us." But the bridge officers did not look convinced. They had all seen it. Their strongest weapon, the pride of the Vora Empire, had hit the human ship directly, and done nothing. No damage. No shield flicker. Not even a scratch. The unknown battleship remained still, glowing softly against the dark space like a giant watching over them. Its silence was more frightening than any weapon. Jur shouted, "Prepare all defensive platforms. Activate every cannon. Mobilize all nearby destroyers. I want that ship surrounded." Within seconds, the outpost lit up with red warning lights. Ships detached from docking rings, engines roaring to life. Automated gun turrets shifted their aim toward the mysterious human vessel. Dozens of alien destroyers formed a wide circle around it, trying to trap it in place. But the human ship stayed calm, unmoving, almost relaxed. As if it had already predicted this reaction. A young officer spoke, voice shaking. "Commander, if humans have technology strong enough to absorb our weapon without damage, maybe we should try communicating again." Jur snapped, "Humans are weak. Their ships crumble under our fire. This must be a bluff." But deep inside, the officer wasn't sure. None of them were sure. Another officer checked the scans and felt his breath catch. "Commander, you should see this." Jur marched over. "What now?" "The energy inside their ship, it is changing. Rising. But not like charging weapons. It's too controlled. Too stable." The officer gulped. "Commander, I think this ship has power levels we have never recorded." Jur leaned closer to the screen. Numbers climbed higher, beyond battleship levels, beyond dreadnought levels, beyond anything known to the Vora. This was impossible. Humans could not create something this advanced. It defied every intelligence report, every study, every assumption. Jur ordered, send another warning. Tell them they are surrounded. If they fire, we will destroy them. The message was delivered. The human ship did nothing. Then, slowly, its engines brightened, forming a soft blue glow. Not threatening. Not aggressive. Just a quiet signal. It was ready. Terrified whispers filled the bridge. What do they want? Why haven't they attacked? Why send only one ship? For the first time, the Vora officers felt smaller. Much smaller. Suddenly, the human ship spoke again, but this time the voice changed. It sounded older, deeper, almost ancient. Do not force conflict. We will defend ourselves if needed. Jur hissed, defend themselves. We fired first. If they were strong, they would have attacked already. But his voice lacked confidence now. Outside the station, the alien destroyers finally received the attack order. Without hesitation, they opened fire. Bright streaks of plasma and laser tore through space, hitting the human battleship from every angle. Explosions burst across its hull. The aliens watched with hopeful eyes as smoke and fire covered the ship, until the wind of space cleared the smoke. The ship was still there. Untouched. Some officers gasped. One dropped his headset. Another stepped back in fear. Their eyes could not believe what they witnessed. Their strongest fleet had fired full power, and it meant nothing. One of the destroyer captains yelled over the comm channel, "Our weapons, they're not working." It's like the ship absorbed every blast. Then something even stranger happened. Every alien ship's power flickered. Lights dimmed. Engines coughed. Screens glitched. One by one, systems failed. The Vora outpost shook as its entire grid struggled to stay online. The human ship hadn't fired. It had simply activated something. A pulse. A wave. A silent ripple of energy that spread like a calm breath across the battlefield. Destroyers stopped moving. Cannons froze. Shields died. Communications went silent. Every alien ship and weapon became powerless. But nothing exploded. No one died. The human ship was not attacking. It was disabling. Jur's voice cracked for the first time in his life. What kind of technology is this? The young officer whispered, "This is not war technology. This is, something else. Something beyond us." On the screen, the battleship remained motionless, glowing soft and bright, as if it was gently holding every alien ship in place. Then the voice came again, calm, steady, unshakable. "You have tested your strength. Now see ours. We do not come to conquer. But we will not bow to threats." Jur felt sweat drip down his neck. This was no ordinary ship. No human fleet. No human strategy. This was a message. A warning. A demonstration of power the Vora Empire could not even understand. And the worst part? The human ship had done all of this without firing a single shot. The Vora Empire had never known silence like this. Every ship in their fleet floated dead and powerless. Engines off. Weapons off. Even lights on some vessels flickered weakly, like candles fighting to stay alive. The outpost itself buzzed with emergency alarms, but none of them could fix the problem. The human ship had done something to them, something beyond science as they understood it. Commander Jur tried to regain control of the bridge. But every officer's eyes were locked on the screen, on the giant dark ship that sat in the center of their broken fleet like a ghost watching them. Jur shouted, "Restart the energy grid. Bring the systems online." "We're trying, Commander," an engineer cried, "but it's like something is holding our power down. Something external." Another officer said, voice trembling, "Commander, we cannot detect what it is. The energy readings from the human ship, they don't match any known form. Jur slammed his fist again. He needed control. He needed answers. But the truth was beginning to creep into his mind, into everyone's mind. They were powerless. And the humans were not. Outside, several alien destroyers drifted closer to the human battleship, pulled by gravity or motion inertia. Their crews shouted through emergency channels. "We cannot steer. We cannot move." Jur swallowed hard. He knew his fleet was helpless. Then, something unexpected happened. The human battleship moved. Not fast. Not aggressive. Just a slow, careful shift, positioning itself directly in front of the outpost. Its engines glowed brighter, forming long shadows across the alien metal hulls. The movement alone sent fear through the entire station. One officer whispered, "Why are they coming closer?" Jur had no answer. Finally, he opened a general channel. His voice shook, though he tried to hide it. "Human vessel, state your purpose. Why are you here?" There was no reply. Instead, small lights appeared along the bottom of the human ship. At first they were faint, like stars flickering. But then they brightened, forming a large geometric pattern that none of the aliens recognized. A symbol. A warning. A signature. The Vora had never seen anything like it. Scientists watching from the outpost panicked. They ran calculations, searched records, compared shapes, but nothing matched. One scientist gasped, "Commander, the pattern is not decorative. It is communicating something." Jur turned sharply. "Communicating what?" "We don't know," the scientist admitted. "The structure of the symbol is too advanced. It might be a language, or a power signature, or both." The human ship seemed to hear him. Because the moment he said that, the symbol changed again, shifting shapes, twisting into new forms, as if answering a question none of them had asked. The bridge lights flickered once more. Then, for the first time, the battleship revealed a glimpse of its true strength. A beam of soft light extended from the underside, not a weapon, not an attack. It passed gently through the debris field, through floating alien ships, through everything. Wherever the light touched, systems hummed weakly. Engines flickered. Screens glowed for half a second. But then everything shut down again. The human ship was scanning them. Studying them. Learning them. "Commander," an officer whispered, "they are reading our entire fleet." Jur felt cold. For what purpose? No idea, maybe assessing threat levels, maybe identifying weaknesses. The officer's voice died as he realized the truth. Humans already knew their weaknesses. They were showing that they understood alien technology better than the aliens themselves. Then the human ship spoke again. This time, the voice was different. Not mechanical. Not calm. It sounded almost human. As if a real person stood on the bridge and spoke directly into the soul of every alien aboard the outpost. "You fired first," the voice said. "But we are not here to destroy. We are here to protect what you endanger." Jur's heart raced. Protect what? We threaten no humans. Silence. Then the answer came. Your weapon. The entire bridge froze. The human voice continued, "The device you tested today, its energy was unstable. Its reach could tear open rifts across nearby systems. You think it is a weapon. You do not realize it is a disaster." Every alien officer stared at each other, horrified. Their new weapon was dangerous, dangerous even to themselves. But how did humans know? Jur shouted, "You lie. How can you understand our technology?" The voice replied, calm and almost sad. "You built upon principles our ancestors abandoned long before your empire existed." The room went silent. It felt like the ship wasn't just a weapon, it was history. Secrets. Knowledge far beyond their understanding. Jur refused to accept defeat. If you are so powerful, why stop us? Why not conquer us? A long pause. Then the answer came. We do not conquer. We prevent extinction. The entire outpost shook, not from an attack, but from fear. The human battleship moved again, positioning itself directly above the alien weapon chamber. Jur whispered, "They're going to destroy us." But the human ship didn't fire. Instead, the weapon chamber lights flickered, then shut down completely. Every console turned blank. The human ship had turned their superweapon off, forever. The voice returned one last time. Do not build this again. Next time, we will not come alone. Then the glowing pattern on the battleship's hull shifted into darkness. The galaxy had just learned something frightening. Humans were not weak. Humans were not slow. Humans were hiding power the Vora could not even dream of. And this ship, the one that disabled an empire alone, was only the beginning. The Vora Empire had faced many enemies across the centuries. Some were strong. Some were clever. Some were dangerous. But none had ever made the Empire feel truly afraid. None had ever forced their fleets to stop. None had ever given orders to them like guardians speaking to children. Yet here they were, every ship disabled, every weapon silent, and every officer frozen in disbelief, because of one human battleship. Commander Jur paced across the bridge, gripping the rail so hard his claws bent the metal. He did not understand how everything had changed so quickly. A single ship should not be able to disable an empire. A single voice should not be able to break the will of trained soldiers. But this human vessel, this impossible construct, had done both without using violence. One officer spoke softly, "Commander, our long-range sensors are back online for a moment. I detected something unusual." Jur snapped, "What now?" "It's a distortion in subspace. Large. Very large." Jur leaned forward. "Is it another human ship?" "I don't know," the officer whispered. "It's too far to identify. But it is moving toward this region." The bridge turned cold. If the Vora had struggled against one human ship, what would they do against two? Before Jur could react, a chilling sound echoed through the ship, an old Vora war warning. But no one had activated it. The systems had turned on by themselves. Every screen switched to one image. A dark symbol. Circular. Layered. Human. The same symbol that glowed on the hull of the battleship. It pulsed slowly, like a heartbeat. Jur growled, "What are they trying to tell us now?" The human battleship, still silent and unmoving outside, suddenly shifted its angle. Its bow pointed not at the outpost, but at open space, toward the subspace distortion. As if it was preparing. As if something else was coming. One scientist gasped. "Commander. I think the ship is warning us. The symbol is repeating a pattern. A defensive pattern." "What does that mean?" "It means, whatever is coming might be dangerous." Jur's chest tightened. "Dangerous? To us? Or to the humans?" The scientist hesitated. "Commander. I do not know." Before anyone could respond, the bridge lights flickered again. This time, not from the human ship's actions, but from something entering normal space. A massive ripple spread across the stars. Like a wave of bending light. Like space itself was shaking. Every alien on the bridge held their breath. Then, from the ripple, a shadow appeared. Long, thin. Crawling outward like a gigantic insect made of metal and darkness. The ship was old, far older than the Vora Empire. Its surface was cracked and broken, glowing with strange energy. No one recognized it. One officer whispered, that is not human." Another said, "That is not Vora. That is not anyone." The unknown ship drifted closer, slow and silent, like a dead god waking after centuries of sleep. And then the human battleship reacted. Its engines blazed bright, brighter than before. Blue light spread across its hull, forming lines, shapes, patterns that looked almost alive. Like the ship itself was waking up for real. The human voice returned, not calm this time. Urgent. Vora outpost. Brace for impact. Do not engage. Jur shouted, "What is that thing? Answer me." The voice replied, "A threat your weapon would have awakened fully. A threat older than your empire. Older than your wars." Fear spread across the bridge. The old alien ship opened glowing cracks along its sides. Strange dust, floating like ash, escaped from its hull. The dust drifted toward the human battleship like it was alive. One scientist screamed, "This energy. It does not match any physics we know." The human ship moved forward, placing itself between the Vora fleet and the ancient vessel. Jur felt confused. "They're protecting us, from that thing?" No one answered. The ancient ship released a low vibration that shook every alien ship violently. Some screens shattered. Some officers fell. The vibration felt like a sound and a signal combined. Like something calling to them. Something old. Something hungry. The human battleship responded instantly. The glowing patterns on its hull flared bright, releasing a wave of blue light. The wave hit the ancient ship, stopping its movement. Stopping the dust. Stopping everything. For a moment, the two ships stood silent, one ancient, one advanced, locked in a battle without firing a weapon. Jur could not believe what he witnessed. "Humans are fighting that thing alone." The young officer whispered, "No, Commander. They are holding it alone." The ancient ship struggled, cracks brightening, energy shaking the void. But the human vessel did not move. Its engines roared deeper, like a giant waking up slowly, calmly. The human voice returned, faint, strained. "Vora Empire, your weapon draws creatures like this. You did not create safety. You created a signal. A beacon." Jur felt sick. Their greatest weapon, meant to give them total power, might have brought their destruction instead. The human battleship pushed forward again, releasing another wave of energy, stronger this time. The ancient ship howled, a sound that cut through every alien mind. Lights exploded across the outpost. Systems overloaded. Fear rose like fire. But then, the ancient ship cracked. Split. Broke apart silently. The human battleship absorbed the final burst of energy, holding it safely until it faded. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. Humans had just saved the Vora Empire from something no one knew existed. And the most terrifying part? The human ship did it effortlessly. The remains of the ancient creature ship drifted across the battlefield like dark snow. Pieces of broken armor floated past the Vora outpost, glowing softly before fading into cold space. Every alien officer watched the scene in silence, unable to believe what they had witnessed. A human ship, a single human ship, had destroyed something that made even the Vora Empire tremble. Commander Jur stood frozen. His empire had conquered worlds, shattered fleets, crushed rebellions, but nothing had prepared him for this. He felt something he had forgotten long ago. Respect. Fear. Humility. The human battleship dimmed its lights slowly, as if catching its breath after the impossible fight. Several glowing patterns along its hull faded into quiet lines. It looked damaged, not physically, but exhausted, like it had pushed itself beyond limits. A junior officer whispered, "Commander, what kind of ship is that? What kind of humans build something like this?" Jur could not answer. Before he could speak, another officer shouted, "Commander. Our long-range sensors, they are detecting new signals." The room tensed instantly. But when the signals resolved, the officers felt their hearts twist again. They were not enemy signals. They were human. 1, 2, 3, 5, 10. Dozens of human ships appeared on the scanners, all jumping toward the region from far distances. Not massive battleships like the one outside, many were smaller, sleeker, built for escort or support. But their presence alone told a chilling truth. The first ship had not come as part of an attack force. It had not come to show dominance. It had come to warn the Vora. And now, reinforcements were arriving to secure the area. Jur whispered, if these are only support ships, what is their main fleet like? None of the officers dared answer. The human battleship finally sent out a signal. Not a voice. Just a soft tone, one the other human ships instantly responded to. They shifted formation, taking defensive positions around the disabled Vora fleet. The Vora watched in disbelief. The humans were protecting them. The human battleship spoke again, its voice weaker but still steady. Vora Empire, your outpost is safe now. The threat is neutralized. Jur stepped forward. Why? Why help us? We attacked you. We insulted your species for generations. We treated humans as nothing. There was a long pause. Then the human voice replied. Strength is not measured by who you can crush. It is measured by who you choose to protect. The bridge fell silent. Even the steady hum of emergency systems seemed to fade. Jur felt something break inside him, a piece of pride he had carried all his life. Your ship, it risked itself to save us. Why? The answer came softly. Because the creature you awaken does not care about humans or Vora. It destroys everything. And we have seen its kind before. The officers stared at the screen. Before. Humans had fought such creatures before. Jur swallowed. Then your ship, it carries the knowledge of those battles. Yes. How many of these creatures exist? Another silence. But this one felt heavy. Finally the human ship answered. Too many. A chill spread across the Vora bridge. The human ship continued. We are not your enemy. But your weapon, it attracted something ancient. Something that should never wake again. The scientist on the bridge stepped forward nervously. Human vessel, why not destroy us now? Why give us warnings instead of finishing us? The reply was simple. Because humanity knows what it is like to be underestimated. To be mocked. To be seen as weak. Every officer froze. The voice continued. We learned long ago that those called weak often rise the strongest. The words cut through Jur like a blade. The human ship dimmed again, its engines glowing faintly. The support ships took position, creating a safe perimeter around the outpost. Then, something unexpected happened. A small human shuttle detached from the large ship and slowly approached the Vora outpost docking bay. Jur's eyes widened. They are boarding us. Commander, do we allow it? An officer asked, terrified. Jur hesitated, but only for a moment. Yes, he whispered. We owe them that respect. The shuttle landed gently in docking bay 2. A small team stepped out, humans in sleek armor, carrying no weapons. They moved calmly, confidently, like people who understood danger but did not fear it. When Jur entered the docking bay, the lead human removed their helmet. A young woman stood before him. Calm eyes. Strong posture. She spoke clearly. We don't want war with you. But you must stop building that weapon. If you activate it again, the galaxy will fall. Jur lowered his head, not in defeat, but acceptance. We will dismantle it. You have my word. The Vora Empire will not repeat this mistake. The human nodded once. Good. Then maybe, one day, our species can stand together. Jur looked at her, truly looked, and saw the truth the galaxy had ignored for centuries. Humans were not the weakest species. They were the most underestimated. And that was their greatest power. The human fleet prepared to leave, returning to their hidden purpose, protecting the galaxy from threats no one else understood. The battleship turned slowly, engines glowing bright. For the first time in Vora history, Jur spoke words no commander had ever said. "Humans, we thank you." The human voice replied softly, almost distant. "Survive well, Vora Empire. More darkness sleeps in this galaxy. And one day, it will wake again." With that, the human fleet disappeared into the stars. But the message they left behind would echo through the galaxy forever. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not small. Humanity was the shield that stood between the living races, and the ancient nightmares waiting in the dark.